So here we are in the basement. Actually, one of the things that I've been doing is getting these lights put up. It was very dark down here, so I got some lighting installed so that it not only helps me see, but makes these videos able to be seen. I had to do a couple things down here. This is the main carrying beam of the house. These two 2x8s, I believe they are. So this isn't one long beam that goes from end to end. It's actually split right here. So there's one 2x8, there's one 2x8 here, one 2x8 here. There's a new 2x8 that goes that way, two of them that go that way. They were sitting on the chimney right here. But if I was going to tear the chimney out, they can't sit there. Because if I started to tear that out, the whole house would just start to collapse. So what I ended up having to do was take this bottle jack, these 2x4s, and jack this up. So I jacked it up, got it, looks like maybe an inch above the where it was resting on the chimney, on this brick here. And I got this post put in and that post put in on either side of it. So my next step is going to be tearing this chimney out. The step after that is going to be, if you can see here, this main carrying beam right here. Someone at some point in time when they were running, I assume, the ductwork, decided to cut a giant notch in this thing. So there's only about however much wood that is there. They cut it like half of it out. So I was watching this old house video, and basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to support all of these floor joists across here, which it might be a little tough with this gas pipe here. I'm going to have to figure out a way to get that supported without pulling gas pipe down, because I really don't want to do that. So support all these floor joists across here. I'll probably get a couple more of these things. They're not super expensive. They're about 60 bucks, I think. So most of them I'll actually be able to use in the final product to keep everything leveled up. This floor actually right now is not level at all. It goes up like this and up like this on either side, because I had to get it up above that that chimney brick there. So when I get to the point, I'm going to support these floor joists, and then I'm going to cut each one of them off here. Cut each of the mounting points up here. I'm going to cut all the nails. I'm going to cut everything that holds it to the carrying beam. I'm going to cut those down, have them supported, and then I'm going to get, and this is what Mr. Tom Silva in This Old House said, and he did for a person on their show, was get a big piece of angle iron that'll wrap, sorry about that light right in the way, that'll wrap this way and then across the bottom, and then attach that to that beam all the way across, and that'll help shore that up and make sure that nothing sinks and nothing is, you know, everything's structurally sound. That's the main goal. That's the only reason for that carrying beam. So if you're ever running any sort of ductwork or anything that requires a large hole, do not cut through the beam. It would have been better to run it, to just put a 90 here, run it underneath the beam and run it up, instead of trying to go through a main structural support of the house. But it's like any old house, not everything is done properly. I'm sure there was a lot of work done in the 100 years or so that this house has been around that is not proper. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set the camera up, and you can just I'll fast forward through me knocking the rest of this chimney out. This is going to be the last of the brick. I think I can get all of this in the truck and get it to the dump sometime this week or next weekend, when I have some time and when they're actually open. All this brick is going to go to the dump, and this will be my last trip for this chimney. Then I can start getting everything shored up down here. And once that's done, well, then some of the real work starts. I'm gonna redo all the ductwork, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna use this hole to run ductwork up to the second floor and maybe the other hole on the other side when I tear that chimney down. That might be what I do. There may be some other way to run it, but I'm not exactly sure. I'll just have to figure that out when I get there. This could all be done better now that I'm gonna have stuff torn out. I got the walls torn out. I can actually run it properly, somewhat properly, compared to what was done before when they didn't have stuff out of the house. They didn't pull a lot of walls down, so they didn't have the open structure that I've got going on now. All this is open. That's the first floor. It's all open. So the ability to run stuff, run electric, run plumbing, run ductwork is going to be a lot easier now. Not that it's going to be easy, but it's going to be easier. So I'm going to set the camera down. I'll get it set up and you can just watch me tear this brick down. Hopefully it goes smoothly. Now, before I go in the basement, I wanted to show you also what happened here on the first floor when whoever had run the ductwork. Obviously, this is an old house. The ductwork had to be run after it was built because they did not have central heating and air back in 1920 when this house was built. And you can tell that by all of the old timber. What I did in this room, I'll show you. If you look around, I've torn all the plaster out. All the plaster out. And you can see I still got some big stacks of insulation that I plan on reusing. Everything's out. The only room I haven't taken out is the kitchen way back over there, which is not going to be the kitchen anymore, but that will actually be probably a dining room. I plan on having the dining room over there. I might open that wall up a little bit to make it open instead of having a doorway there. I'll figure it out when I get over there. But on the first floor here, you can see up here where actually chimney leaked, water came down here. So, you know, water was coming all over the place, down from the ceiling, or from the roof, where the chimney was. Because the flashing around the chimney was just awful. And whoever had tried to repair it, had tried to repair it with that like adhesive rubbery stuff. And that's all it was, but water was still getting in there, obviously. So down here, I put this was cut, of course. I plan on replacing this floor joist. I already replaced this floor joist actually, but I plan on sistering a new 2x8 right there, right next to that one, running it down. Make sure that's sitting on the top plate. Over here, this is where the other chimney was, came down here. You can see that top plate. There's where they cut it for to run ductwork up there. Not a great idea. You can see all this. These second floor joists need to be run all the way back over. There needs to be a new top plate. This was some sort of like temporary fix I'd done just to sort of tie those together. That was actually before I decided to tear everything out. So I was trying to put some sort of a fix in there to hold all those together without actually having that top plate in there. But it became more and more apparent to me as I was going on that I wanted to tear everything out and actually put it together the way it should be put together. Here is where the second chimney was, and there's where the rest of the second chimney is currently. Now I'll go in the basement and we'll look at what was done there and what I tried to do to fix it. I'm hoping that it's strong enough. I think it is. You can see what I've done here where the south chimney was. This is where it was. This is where that floor joist had been cut, and I sistered a new 2x8 there. That's a 16-foot 2x8. It's kind of a pain in the ass to get in here by yourself. Now I'm going to replace this joist hanger. This is a 2x6 joist hanger. I'm going to replace that with a 2x8 just to make sure that that's properly supported. That was all I had at the time. I wanted to make sure that I got it done. These again, these old timbers, you can see how they kind of curve upward, curve downward. I've checked the floor upstairs, and the floor at this point is level. So that is something with the way the boards were milled, you know, like I said, the old boards. So what I did was, here was where previous owner at some point in time had notched, right here actually, had notched for ductwork to go up. Again, not a great practice, but instead of trying to support the whole house and pull these beams out, what I did was got this, it was like a 4-foot section of like 3/8 inch steel angle. And I put these lag bolts through. These are like 4.5 inch lag bolts that go almost to the edge here. And that really ties both of those beams together. It adds strength to that, so this isn't gonna flex where it was notched out. I've got support beam here, you know, jack post. I got one right there next to the where the stairwell comes down. And now I've got over here, this is where I need to finish today. I need to finish tearing this chimney out. This is the south chimney right here. I've got it torn down to right here. It's full of stuff because I was tearing out upstairs. Pieces were falling in, bricks were falling in, mortar was falling in. So this is all full of dirt and mortar and all kinds of junk. So you can see I've already started tearing some out. There's a stack of bricks there. I've got a support post on this side. I've got a support post on this side. So once I get this out, then I'm going to work on leveling this. I'm going to extend this joist all the way to the carrying beam. I'm going to extend this joist, sorry it's a little dark, all the way to the carrying beam there. You can see where it had actually been attached with those big nails sticking out. It had actually been attached before and they pulled it out. So I don't know if this chimney was added later at some point. That seems kind of odd. It really seems like something that would have been built with the house in the 1920s, but you can see how big also this notch is right here. So this is a 2x8 beam, and apologize for the light over here. I've got lighting down in the basement, but I didn't run it all the way over here. But you can see there's a huge notch right there, and at the worst point there's probably only 2 inches of wood right there, which is not good for supporting the house. So what I'm gonna have to do once I get this chimney out, I'm gonna have to do the same thing. I've got a beam over, or a big piece of angle iron right there, and that is gonna go up there to bridge that. So I'm gonna have to support this on either side, get that angle in there, that angle iron in there, and then bolt it in just like I did the other side. Just to stiffen that up, make sure it looks safe, make sure it's gonna hold the whole house up. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do today. So today, knocking this down, gonna get those bricks loaded up in the truck, and I'll get them to the dump right soon after that. So I'll get set up on a tripod, and you can watch me tear down some bricks. How about that, huh? There is where the chimney used to be. There's my shadow. There is a bunch of dirt, mortar, pieces of brick. There were some shingles that I threw over there. Because I take all this to the dump and it goes in the concrete brick section and I dump it for free. So I don't throw any of the other stuff like shingles or nails or anything. I keep them separated. So this pile now needs to go in the truck, which is right out that window. So I have to go out that door, up those steps, and throw them all in the bed of the truck right there. It's a pain in the butt, but this is all down. It creates a lot more space down here. As you can see, where the chimney used to be, where the other chimney used to be, there is a lot more space now to run ductwork, run electric, run plumbing. It's just so much nicer down here. Now I've got 4 of these red poles, which I think each of them said they will hold up to 12,000 pounds. So that is more than enough to support the house. And I'll have to move them around a little bit because I'm going to have to, you know, do that L bracket or steel L thing up here. I already did it on the other sides, but I might have to move those around. I like having those 2 right there, kind of in the center, supporting the stairs, both the stairs here, which I'm going to redo because I think I'm going to run them up here and make the entrance right there, which is where it originally was in the house. So it'll be nice to support those. It'll be nice to support the stairwell that's going upstairs to the 2nd floor. And it really just makes it super spacious in here and easy to do a lot of different things that need to be done because they weren't done properly before, which is what happens when you have, quote, carpenters from all different time periods doing stuff. A lot of the electric in here was old knob and tube, and even before that, or even after that, there was just some older stuff that you can see that that's the original wire that was going to the electrical oven range in the kitchen. But there you saw me tear down some brick. Really not that difficult. The difficult part is getting it into the truck, which is what I'm going to do now. I'm not going to video that, but I will show you this area once it's all cleaned up. And here is what it looks like with all that brick mortar gone. I broke this thing, the drain pipe coming out of the furnace that was running over into that well, but easy fix. So that's what it looks like now. Those are those 2x12s, or 2x8s, I'm sorry, 16 footers that are going to replace those floor joists right there. Not replace, but I'm going to sister them. So here's what it looks like. I'll come over here and give you a full view. Ow, I keep hitting my head on that. So this is the full view of the basement now. One chimney gone, the other chimney gone, and we are ready to roll. There's the base of where the 2nd chimney was. That's on the south side of the house, the one I was showing you before. There's the opening. It goes all the way up through the 2nd floor. And that's the 1st floor. So you can see here, I'll show you. This is where it was, this hole. And then so this floor joist, let me get the light. This floor joist, that floor joist need to be extended. So I'm gonna knock these, forget what you call these, but I'm gonna knock these out. The braces, I guess you call them. I'm gonna knock these braces out, sister new ones up. I'm gonna have to pull this electric line out. I've got another electric line feeding the lights. I'm gonna have to unhook that and pull it back out of there. Run the new floor joists, drill holes through them, run the electric back. That should be all the floor joists that I need to do down here. Now, what I've been doing also, show you up here, see how this is set. Oh, sorry, this light's pretty bad. See how this is set on a, like a 2x4, like a notch 2x4. All of these joists are hanging on those. What I've been doing, sort of like this one, is actually putting real joist hangers on those, which is what they should be. This was probably fine way back in the day. These joists weren't cut long enough, and there was some space in between them. Get the light. Some space in between them. So I did some measuring, and nothing had shifted. This is all pretty straight. So these were just cut short when the house was built. So I put this 3/4 plywood as sort of a, you know, to bring it out a little further. Same thing here. I had these joist hangers are made for modern 2x, which are actually 1.5 wide. So I had to flatten them out and then rebend them to fit these actual 2-inch wide joists. So it's older wood is actually 2 by whatever. Whereas a modern, say 2x4 is 1.5 by 3.5. An old 2x4 is 2 inches by 4 inches. So you can see down there, same sort of thing. There's still a few of them around here that I have to put hangers on, but you can see down that line there that that's what I've been doing. Just putting those hangers on those to make them, you know, proper. So this is where I'm at with the fixing of the support system, I guess. You know, the structural work, which when this is done, this is all going to be opened up. I'm thinking I might move this furnace a little further over here, get it sort of out of the middle. This will be a little closer to the center of the house, so won't have to run ducts over here and then up. We could run the plenum this way, run the plenum that way, or not the plenum, you know what I mean. But run the actual duct work side to side, then run it upstairs from there. So that's kind of what I'm thinking with this. Otherwise, I like what this has done as far as opening up the basement. Everything looks really nice right now. It's mostly clean. So you can see my bright LED light right there. So yeah, this is what I'm working on right now. I did some hangers on this side too. You know, had to drill through that L bracket right there to get that through, which that stuff's really thick. But you know, gradually working my way across these. I got to do some like double joist hangers here. Someone had already sistered one here. But yeah, that's what it looks like without the chimneys in. I think it's looking pretty good. It'll be pretty solid when I'm done. But anyway, that's tearing down a chimney, part 2. So already did the 1, but yeah, there you go. Where there once was a chimney, now there is none.